Testing.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Testing. Testing. One, two,
Test,
three.
test, mic check.
1, 2, 3.
Can you hear me?
Hey, y'all are on right now. You're live.
Hi, how are you doing? This is Joaquin Fuentes. Welcome to the show you like with Joaquin and Billy. How you doing? How's your weekend going? We have a lot of fun today having this show here with Billy and my friend Israel Luna. Hi Israel, how you doing?
Hi, I guess this is take two, right? Because we did it once before.
Right, because we have some technical difficulties. Say hi Billy to the
Hi,
audience.
everyone. This is Billy. Hi.
So Israel, I'm here with Israel. He's a film director here in Dallas, and he hosts one of the biggest film festivals here. The name of the festival is Rack Focus. Can you tell me a little bit about it, please?
Yes, Rack Focus is like you said, it's a festival where it's a competition where you have 3 months to shoot a film, 10 minutes or less, and then at the end of the round, if you make the deadline, we screen your film at a packed theater. The venue could always change depending on the size or how, availability really. And you win cash prizes and awards when it's all over. And we do it about every 4 to 5 months.
This is a very important film festival because you encourage people that have just started in the movie business that are interested in acting or producing films. This is a great way to start.
Thank you.
How did you start with the idea to host this kind of film here in Dallas, Texas?
Yeah, well, that was one of the things is like you just said is that a lot of people when they think about making a movie, it seems so far to grasp that goal because people think, wow, to shoot a film, I have to get all the actors. I need money, first of all. I need to arrange everything. And I thought, what can we do to help motivate them to make it seem closer to them to be able to reach and do? So I thought, what, if I can do like 10 minutes or less, then people can say, oh, I can do that. I can do a movie 10 minutes or less in 3 months. And then, go from there to just help motivate them and keep them creative. And then go from there.
That's wonderful because I have seen some of the people that has been in this festival. Great films.
Yes.
They do a lot of. It's a great work that they are doing, producing their films. They even write their own scripts. And I have seen people that don't have any experience writing the scripts or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's a good start. And also they have what I would like to say. They have good videographers also.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, well, you were there for round one, right? The
Yes.
very first one?
Yes.
There's a big change in the quality of the films from round one. Round one films were good, and then round two were even better, and then round three, they're like so much better than that. I'm loving that the quality, that's what's happening to the quality because a lot of these where there's an advancement of quality is the same filmmaker.
Yes.
So they're improving their craft as well.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, it's because once you're in this competition, you want to do your job better and better and better.
Yeah.
Because in the future, if you want to compete for Oscars, awards, or for the Cannes Festival, you really have to learn all the single details of what is it takes to make movies.
Right. I was just wondering, do either of you have any favorites from this round?
I like that one with Josh Briscoe, Swipe.
Swipe
Yeah, I
Right?
like that
Swipe
one too.
Right.
Yeah.
I really love it because this is a comedy where they are looking at the woman and it's very entertaining and it's very it's so funny.
Yeah, I liked it because it was raunchy. I liked that. It's like because we all want to talk like that, and then seeing it on the screen, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like sometimes because it's just true the way he's talking about people. Sometimes they think in their minds and they visualize and it's like they dreaming and that's the way it is, and he brought it to the movie really well.
Yeah, I really liked in that film how to show the character getting in the mood, he started seeing everyone half naked. And so that's when they both knew, oh yeah, we need to do something about this because I'm getting worked up. And not only did they do it for the guy seeing all the women naked, but the woman started seeing the men naked, and I was like, this one already gets my vote.
There is another one that I like, that I was very impressed with the acting of Angel Rose.
Yeah,
This is what her
Lady in
first
the Dark.
movie, Lady in the Dark. She plays a transgender girl that gets killed.
Yeah. You just ruined it for everybody.
No, but you know,
it's based on
it's a good acting, and it's based on the movie Mr. Goodbar.
I think I see Mauricio,
This
by
is
the way.
this is a good movie.
Yeah, she was. I was wondering how it was going to come out because it is a very touchy subject matter, and it's very gruesome as well. And she did a really good job with just portraying a very sweet, kind of naive woman that doesn't really have very good self-esteem because this guy says, I want to take pictures of you, and the first thing out of her mouth is, well, you don't mind taking pictures of me because I just told you I'm transgender. And I thought that was a really great moment in the film.
But you know what? It's a great moment because in that way she tells, I'm a transgender woman. Because how many times in real life, real events, transgender women get killed because they don't tell the male who they are dating or meeting. They get killed because they say, you lied to me, you never tell me you're a transgender.
Or a lot of the time, the men know that they're transgender and they even have a relationship, and then that guy beats them up or kills them, and they easily go to the cops and say, well, I didn't know. And then the cops are like, ooh, he didn't know. It's like, it's not the transgender woman's fault. It has nothing to do with anything, but a lot of the mainstream public think that transgender women try to fool men, and that's not the case. So, I dealt with all of this when I did my film, Ticked Off Trannies with Knives. So.
Because, we live in a very complex society.
Yeah.
A lot of times people doesn't really see people like human beings.
Right.
Just because they're
different
to them.
Yeah.
But we're all equal. I mean, there's, regardless of social class, race.
Yeah. Well,
culture.
just because something doesn't make sense to you doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Yes.
And a lot of people think, well, if they're not like me and they're different, ooh, they must be somebody that I need to hate. Or,
right.
It's like, well, hopefully things are changing.
Through the years, because has been a lot of bullying. Bullying has always existed.
Yeah, and
on this earth.
And this round too, there was quite a few movies about bullying.
Yes, and it's very interesting that people, talk about bullying and people get bullied, because nobody needs to go through that. That's really horrible. Last Sunday I was in an event for a Spanish radio station where the child almost committed suicide because he was been bullied at school. And then he's been on life support for 5 years, but not too long ago he regained a little bit of consciousness. He opened the eyes and opened the mouth.
Wow.
And now they are trying to have stem cells, to treat him with a stem cells.
Wow. Yeah, in this round, speaking of all the bullying, we had a few films that were about bullying, and one of them, the movie Anonymous, was about bullying, but behind a computer screen. Because did you see that one called Anonymous that we screened on the last night? Thursday?
I came late, a little bit late.
Okay. Yeah, but that one is about a guy who went on a suicide sort of website and was going on there and talking to people who were contemplating suicide, and he said, you should just go ahead and do it for fun. And then the kid shot himself, and so now he and his whole family are tied up at gunpoint from the dad of the kid who killed himself. So I thought that was a good twist and storyline about bullying done through social media.
Bullying is an ugly problem that affects the whole world. And something needs to be done about it, because it doesn't matter because you're different or you act different, or your social class, which it has a lot to do in other countries. You know, your social class is very important in some societies, not as much as race, but in other parts of the world, your social class is it's a lot to other people, and they shouldn't be like that.
Well, I think what should happen is that people shouldn't back down from who they are. If you are who you are and then it threatens somebody, just say, yeah, what are you going to do? Yeah, you're going to beat me up. After you beat me up and I heal again, I'm still going to be me. So what are you going to do about it? Just move on. There's nothing about my life that affects your life.
Yes.
So, you know, you being a jerk doesn't affect my life. I'm not going to let it. So why
Right.
should me being who I am affect you?
But you know what? When you're bullied, you have to learn to be who you are, to stand on your own ground, and to tell your parents about it. You know, so they can do something about it,
Yeah.
and then try to take your mind away from those people, or maybe change the schools or do whatever, and try to be a tough person, tough
Yeah.
yourself out, because you cannot let somebody to mistreat you because
Right.
whatever they don't like about you,
Yeah.
and keep on going. But you know, I really praise you for having this film festival.
Thank you.
It's very important, and I really like it a lot. It's almost like being at the Oscars, because you even give the awards, and you give
Yeah.
the little awards really pretty in the shape of a crystal.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they're Crystal Awards, and I
Crystal
made them
Awards.
round because you know the logo on Rack Focus is like the lens, and it's round. So I thought, oh, that'll be really nice, and making it crystal and blue.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like it. Tell me a little bit about your movie Chinese with knives.
Oh, it ticked off trannies with
Yeah,
knives.
Chinese with
Yeah,
knives.
that one we shot in Dallas, and it did the film festival circuit in 2010. And that was about, you know, again, with bullying, I wanted to add a new twist to it where it were transgender women who are working as showgirls at a bar, at a club, and they get bashed and left for dead. But in my movie, the survivors come back, they strategize, they develop a plan, and they trap the guys, and they torture them and then kill them, and everybody's happy at the end. We needed that.
But I
something
like
that.
it because, you know, it's very entertaining. I saw the movie, I watched it, and I saw how the Chinese kill the men that were
Yeah.
that killed them before, you know, and how they were like enjoying every
Yeah.
part of it. Can you tell me about what is the implication of making this movie?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm glad that you got that out of the movie where they're having fun doing it, because I was having fun writing it, because we never get that. We always get, if you watch CSI, if you watch any cop show on TV, if there's a transgender female that appears, they're going to get killed off.
Yes.
You know, and that's it. They're always weak and demure and, oh my gosh, and then they get killed. No, my girls look great, they're beautiful, and they kick ass, and, you know, there you have it. And that was the reason why I did it, was because the community needed to have a movie to represent their frustration and wanting to fight back.
Yes.
And yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
You know, it's a very well written movie, because how many times transsexuals or transgender, like we were talking earlier, they get killed for no reasons. You know, they can be walking on the street, or
Just
they
because
get
of who they are, they're being
picked
picked on.
up.
Yeah.
And this is a very complex subject to talk about it, because even though we live in a new era with the technology and everything that is out there, but still there is people that have prejudice. It's sad to say it, but they still have a lot of prejudice against this kind of people.
Yeah, and then speaking of that, in my film, we had transgender women in front of and behind the camera too. And you know, I think I talked about this at your last show, but when we hired our crew, we had these podunk redneck guys from Arkansas, you know, working on the film. And when the first day happened, I had some of the guys coming up to me and saying, now, what do I call them? Do I call them he? Do I call them she? And I said, why don't you just call them by their name?
Yeah.
And a week later, after they've been on the set working together, they are partying together and drinking and exchanging numbers and flirting with each other. And I thought, wow, we are changing, mentalities already just from making the film. The movie's not even done yet, and out to the world. And, and the message there is that we're all exactly the same.
But you know what? That was great because they learned to treat them like everybody else.
Yeah.
Not because they are transsexuals or whatever, they call names. They call different names, but they learn to accept them and for who they are.
Yeah.
And that is great.
Yeah, and so then when I started seeing the controversy again with transgender women like a year ago when it was like really big again, I thought we covered this 5 years ago. This is what we were talking about 5 years ago, and it's kind of sad that it's still a topic of discussion because it's like, do you care when they're like, well, does it mean that they still have their parts down there? Well, that's none of your business. Do we talk about your vagina? Do we talk about your penis? No. So it's none of your business. So why should it be yours? Why are you so concerned about that? That says something about your mentality and where your mind goes.
It's like I say, this is a hard subject to talk about it and to treat. And a lot of times, what I would recommend for people that are so judgmental, they need to learn some psychology books, some humanity books, because that really help you to understand humanity.
Yeah, and I understand if people don't understand it, and that's fine. If they ask questions, but somebody who's already made up their mind, it's like, and you can't talk to them. I think those people are just unhappy in their own life, that they have to branch out and hate someone because they're so unhappy. Happy people just love everything and want just knowledge about everything and just ask in a great way.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
you
I
know
think.
what, Israel, life is too short. Today we're here, tomorrow nobody knows. You can be here right now, something might happen next time.
Right.
You never know. So it's always to your advantage to treat people nice, with love, like showing that you really care.
Right.
Because at the end, that's what it matters. It doesn't matter how rich you might be, how famous you can be, how big of a mansion you might have, or
I like people who are rich.
yeah. I mean,
If I didn't at first and they're like, I have a lot of money, I kind of like you now.
of course, because that is important. I'm not saying it's not important, because
I'm
it's
being
important
honest.
to pay bills, to live, to eat, to dress, to do whatever. But it's not important.
Right.
Because I'm from Mexico, and I have been with really rich people, and I've been with really poor people. And I learned from poor people that sometimes they give you whatever they have. Poor people, sometimes they invite you to their houses, and they have like a tortilla.
Oh, you're making me hungry.
Or a little bit of ham, and they share with you that the little bit they have with love.
Yeah, you're so right.
On
There's a movie on Netflix right now. Have you ever seen it? It's a documentary called Happy.
Okay.
And what they did was, the filmmaker said, you know what? There are studies where they can actually track the level of depression in someone. And he said, if they can do that, can they track the level of happiness? And so he discovered that they do. And the whole documentary is about the happiest people on earth and what makes people happy and what makes people the saddest. And it's a really amazing documentary. And a lot of the happiest people are the people who don't have very much money, and a lot of them are Latinos because they have big families. And it's just a really interesting, great documentary. So if you haven't seen it, go on Netflix and watch Happy. It's an amazing documentary.
It's very interesting, but because I have lived that. I have been with really super rich people, and I have been with really poor people. I would have never thought how they live, how they survive. It was very shocking to me and kind of impressive, but I learned how happy they were with the things God is being given to them, to live with the little resources and to be happy.
Yeah, and a lot of it had to do in the documentary with with the groups of people that you associate with. It seems like the energy that is created by large groups of people, especially towards children, you know, they always say, you know, kids should have like a big, you know, family like support system.
Yeah.
Most of those people are happy because, or happier because they have a big group of people that they can confide in, talk to, you know, and it's all about energy, which is what I've always thought.
You know, movies really make a great impact on people and people's life. A lot of times, artists they don't have any idea how much of a big impact they create in people's lives.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I have read about really famous people that they say, "I never thought I was making a big impact in these children's or in young adults' lives." I have read about Jacqueline Smith.
Oh, I love
She
Jacqueline
says,
Smith.
that when she became an actress, she never thought she have make a big impact with the TV show Charlie's Angels. She said they were working all the time on set. They never really have time to watch the news, read the magazines. So she said, I never really have any idea how much of an impact I made in people's life until later on when that show was over.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the best way to realize that is when you don't mean to. You're just working and then people get something off of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's great. That's how I feel with my movies too.
But I was going to say, we didn't ask him what his favorites were of the film either. We skipped right over. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you had any.
the one with Joshua Briscoe, I thought that was really good.
Which one?
He had a couple of them.
Do you remember which one?
That's why.
Yeah, Swipe Right, I think it is. Swipe Right.
Oh, Swipe Right.
Yeah.
So you have a dirty mind too, don't you?
Well, it's. I think a lot of people unconsciously think about, well, what would their friends say? Well, they'd say this or they'd say that. And,
Yeah.
You know, they go back and forth and debate about this person they're going out
Right.
with and what they're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I know that you went to a very important festival with your movie, with Chinese, with TikTok Chinese.
Yes, with Tribeca, with Robert De Niro's film festival. Yeah, I was completely like surprised with that. I mean, we had submitted it, but we, you know, when you're going to do the film festival circuit, you just kind of send it everywhere and hope that one of them comes back and says yes. And now this is the interesting thing, is the Dallas International Film Festival said no to Ticked Off Trannies with Knives, but Robert De Niro's Tribeca Film Festival said yes. I've never figured out why, because it's been so hard for me to have my films here in Dallas Film Festival, so I've just stopped submitting.
Yeah. But
Which
you know
is
what?
really
Israel?
interesting. I'm not sure why.
Never ask yourself why.
Yeah.
Because I never ask myself why. You know why? Because a lot of people always think, oh, why this happened to me, or why this happened to me. Don't ever think why, because a lot of people can go crazy. They always think, why? Just let it go and just enjoy your life and try to
And that's
go
what I've
on
done.
and try to do the next thing.
Yeah.
But you know, I understand you ask why. Probably they thought something about the movie or something about his story or how you were treating these kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what they are
Right.
looking for, the producers, the directors, because this business is very complex.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you were able to take it to the Tribeca Festival.
Yeah, and we were there. We had 4 screenings, and they were all 4 sold out.
Wow.
We were voted the most popular film that year.
Yes.
There was I have to brag about this because I'm going to brag about it forever. But CNN interviewed Robert De Niro about the entire festival. Now,
Yes.
keep in mind, he has over 100 films that he's screening and like 50, 60 full-length films, mine being one of them. And he talked about 2 movies in those 10 minutes.
Yes.
Shrek, Ever After, and my movie.
What was he impressed with your movie about?
Because it had caused a controversy.
Yes.
There was people talking about it. We had picketers, picket signs with my last name on it. I remember taking pictures of it because I thought, I've never had my name on a picket sign, and I did. We had protesters out there saying, pull the movie from Tribeca because he used the word trannies, which was considered a pejorative, and I understand that. And also they said that I misrepresented transgender people, but we fought back. We said, I'm sorry, but how are we misrepresenting? The women in my film are strong, they're confident, they're beautiful, and they fight back. How are we misrepresenting? And on top of that, I'm not representing all transgender women. I'm representing these 5 characters.
Yes.
So it just caused a controversy, and so the news reporter asked him about the controversy and what his thoughts were, and of course he said that's what film festivals are for, is for freedom of expression.
It is true what he said, it's this freedom of speech, expression, and you cannot single somebody's movies because...
Yeah. Now, if you want to talk about a controversial film, there's a movie coming out by Chaz Buchanan called Cancer Dancers. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Woo, be prepared.
Oh, I will. It's gonna be like a horror movie. Or
No,
what kind of genre is it?
it's like an ABC family film. It's rated G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you become interested in filmmaking?
I'll be honest. I wasn't supposed to be watching The Exorcist at 5 years old, but I was, and I was scared to death. And I thought, I want to make movies like this. I was scared to death.
Yes.
And I thought, ooh, I want to be scared again. It was like an adrenaline rush. And so then, of course, after that, I was hooked on horror movies and started watching, USA Up All Night. Although those weren't, they were horror movies, but they were kind of like funny horror movies.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I got into all the Friday the 13th, the Nightmare on Elm Streets, the Halloweens, all of those.
So you like horror movies?
I do.
What is that you like about it? That you're so intrigued, or what is that you like to talk about?
I like because I guess I'm about reaction. People react to things. So when I make a movie, I think, how can I picture the audience watching it really quiet and waiting to see what's going to happen, and then they jump and then they laugh at themselves. I like taking them on that. It's sort of like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
And I really like that when you're watching a horror movie, because when you're just in suspense and thinking what's going to happen, it's such a great feeling for the filmmaker that he was able to do that to you from just images on a screen. I think that's a great thing to do.
I understand, but what I was very impressed with your movie, The Trannies, it was all the blood and all the killings. How did you picture the killings? How these people were gonna get killed? How did you talk about it?
I thought about the most gruesome ways that straight men are afraid of, which is anything going in their butt. You know? And in the movie, they put those retractable knives in there. Because I thought, it's their biggest fear. Now, what straight men don't realize, well, actually, they're slowly catching on, is if you put things in there, it might feel really good, right, Chaz? But, but
oh my God.
Oh, yeah, you bad, son.
But, that was the first thing that I thought of was, they have to do that to them because, supposedly that's their biggest fear. I think they're just saying that. I think a lot of them know that if there's good stuff in. But that's how I got it started. But I was just trying to think of, like, shock value.
Yes.
Like, what's going to be crazy, ridiculous, funny, but shocking and grotesque all at the same time. Yeah.
You did a good job. And also I like the part where the Chinese are with, what's his name?
Boner?
Yeah, they are like in the park, and they are on a car, right?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that part.
And which part?
They are like with Richard, and they are on the wagon or the
at the guard, the Asian garden.
Yeah, the Asian garden.
Yeah, well, after they get bashed, they go to this Asian garden, and it's just sort of like what inspired me with that scene was all of the 70s and early 80s kung fu films where all of this crazy stuff happens, and all of a sudden they're in this garden and they're being taught how to do karate or, all of this just crazy things just randomly. So I thought, you know what, I want to do the same thing. So we went and found a place south of Arlington that was like a Japanese garden that was beautiful.
Wow.
And they had a rope bridge going across, and we weren't supposed to climb on it. But I said, oh, cinematic wise, it's gonna look great. We're gonna walk across it. I'm not gonna walk across it, but I'm gonna let them. So in case anything happens, they die, not me. But no, we got approval to do it, and but yeah, it was a beautiful place. I loved it. It was great. We were just there one day. We had to shoot all of that in one day.
And can you give an advice to people that are just starting in this business? What is what they need to learn about movie making if they want to become successful?
Yeah. Listen to other people's critiques. Give it to people that are not your close friends or your family or actors that want to be in your film, because they're all going to say it's amazing. Give it to people that you trust, other writers, people in writers groups, and people that have no association or investment in your film. Give it to them and just listen to what they say. Don't get defensive. It's going to be tough, but don't get defensive and just listen to what they're telling you and then apply it.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing.
How much do you spend making these movies? For example, trannies.
Ticked Off Trannies with Knives was about $50,000.
And how many days it takes to film and do the shooting? And all
I think that one took 18 days.
18 days. And
Yes.
who did the special effects for this movie? And the makeup artist?
Yeah. His name, two people. One of them did the practical gore effects. His name is Joshua Fred. You can find him on Facebook. He's really good. He's working on a film right now.
Yes.
And then we had what I call my secret weapon. Her name's Chaselyn Wade. She does hair, makeup, and wardrobe. She's done that for all of my films.
Yes.
I've known Chaselyn since she was a scrappy little boy with frosted tips and scruff, and now she's a very confident and beautiful transgender woman.
Oh, wow.
She does hair, makeup, and wardrobe and is amazing at it.
Yeah, I saw it. I really was very impressed with the blood, all the blood that was on the scenes. They were getting killed.
Yeah, there was a lot of blood.
But there
everywhere.
is an actress that really caught my attention. Alexis Davenport.
Alexis Davenport,
That's
yes.
her name, her stage name. What is her real name?
Alexis Davenport's her real name. Pinky Latrim was her name in the movie.
Did she actually have any training in acting?
No.
Or she's a natural actress.
She's a natural. She was great. And now I can say that about a month ago, I approached her about possibly being in the sequel, and she said that she would.
Wow. That's
Hopefully
wonderful.
that's going to happen very soon.
And I saw one of the actresses that she unfortunately passed away already, Erica Andrews. Can you tell me a little bit about
Erica
her? How she
Andrews.
was working with her?
Oh my gosh.
What kind of person she was?
Erica Andrews is a businesswoman. She had, all the girls on set would always tease her about having gigs, and they would all say, "Oh, I have gigs, because Erica had those gigs lined up. Great businesswoman, wonderful person. She was just A+ all around.
Yeah.
Beautiful. She's internationally known.
Yeah,
she's
she
one of the
was
most.
Miss Mexico, right?
Yeah, she was
Or
one of the most beautiful transgender women in the world. Yeah.
That's so sad that she passed away. Well, can you tell me a little bit about your childhood, where you grew up? How was your family? What did your mother and father did for a living? Did you have brothers and sisters? So I think your fans would like to know about it.
Yeah, well, no, I grew up in a small town near Amarillo, Texas, called Wellington, a town of 2,000 people. I pretty normal childhood, small town childhood. It was just kind of just normal. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it.
But you mentioned in the previous interview that it was for you to live in the little town because you were in the closet.
Yes.
You didn't come up as a gay man.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about it. It was difficult for you that time?
Yeah, it was difficult. I mean, just difficult, and it was a struggle because I thought, at a certain time, I was very aware of, my where my attraction went to, and but I thought, oh, everyone goes through that at this age probably, and then you just grow out of it, and then you grow into the person that you're attracted to, but not having any positive influences of from a small town. I mean, you're only exposed to mainstream America and what's on TV. So I, of course, did what any other male is supposed to do, and I hooked up with the girl and lived with her for 2 years, and helped raise her 2 kids while we were together, that she had from her previous marriage. And it wasn't until a friend of mine from that small town who lived in Dallas, he asked me to come and visit for a week, so I did. And when I came to visit, it's almost like, and just being around him and all of his friends, and it was sort of like in the gay community, the best way that I can describe it is my body felt like a pinball machine when you hit tilt. All of the bells and whistles and the lights started coming on and flashing, and I started feeling everything, and I didn't know where that was coming from. Yeah. I was like, what is going on? I get it. Oh my God, I didn't know this existed, and I had no control over any of this, but then I felt things. I remember when I was being with her, and even like when I was dating in high school and watching romantic comedies, and where the guy's crying over the girl, I would think, I can't wait until the day that I meet a girl that I can feel that way with, because I just didn't feel it. Even when I was with the girl that I lived with, I was going through the motions, and I was going through all of that, through the steps of what I was supposed to do, but that's all there was. There wasn't anything more. And it wasn't until when I came to Dallas that I thought, I get it. And it wasn't a sex thing, it was an emotional thing. Yes. Of now I know what those romantic movies mean. Now I know what it means to hold someone's hand that you love. Mine just happened to be a male, and my body like reacted immediately, like yes, this is it. And then I felt complete. So yeah, it was sad that I didn't know any of that because I had no influences in small towns. Yes. Thankfully nowadays it's different, and you see a lot more positive like characters on TV shows and movies and everything. But yeah, in the 80s, that wasn't there. It was the Reagan era. Thanks, Reagan.
In the 80s, 60s, 70s, 50s, 40s, it was really, really, I mean, it's hard, but it's getting better, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, much better.
But I'm glad that you find you're truly who you are, Israel Luna finds himself. How does your parents deal with it? How do they cope with it?
My family is the coolest family in the world. It affected them for a minute, like, oh, well, we don't want you to have an even harder life because life is already hard. But after that, they moved on, and it's not even been an issue. So it's not been an issue. And I think even just like with my career and my filmmaking career and everything that I do, that part is only like 2% of who I am. Yes. Is who I love. Everything else is just like my work ethic and the people that I associate with and the things that I do. That has nothing to do with anything. But, like who I am as a person, that's just like 2%. So it's not.
I understand, but it's important, because a lot of people out there, they have these kind of issues and they have these kind of problems. And parents have problems with their children, with their young kids, and the young kids have.
Right.
So I think what you're telling us is good, because a lot of times you cannot reprimand your kids, or you cannot single them out, or try to put a lot of pressure, because that's why a lot of these kids, they ended up committing suicide. Mm-hmm. Again, we're talking about bullying, like in your movies. You have to learn to be a loving parent and to be acceptance. God loves everybody. God is the only one, Jesus Christ is the only one who was perfect on this earth. We are flesh and blood. Nobody is perfect. Nobody on this earth is perfect. So nobody can single anybody out because your race, your social class, your nationality, or your religion. Mm-hmm. Nobody is perfect. So parents needs to be acceptance.
Yeah,
churches need to be acceptance. Every church.
Well, that's not going to happen, unfortunately.
No, but what I'm saying, in the way Israel, churches need to help people, to love people for who they are. Even if you're a drunk, if you're a drug addict, if you are whatever, they are there to help society and to help people with their issues, because nobody's perfect.
Well, and a lot of them I think do. A lot of them I think do, but others are, they operate with how much money they make. And if the people that are giving the most money are the ones that like the ignorance and like the fact that they don't have to like certain classes of people, if that's where the money's coming from, they're going to continue catering toward them. But
But you know what? It's like what I told you last time in the previous interview. Some people say, oh, I believe in God, or I am like this, but they want to be like the Pharisees. The Pharisees were in the Bible. When Jesus came, oh, here Jesus, I invite you to eat. They just want to show up. They were not real, they didn't believe in Jesus. They didn't really believe in what he was telling. They were just showing up. So real people that really love God, they are going to show in a different way. I grew up in a Christian home.
I'm a recovering Catholic.
In a Christian home,
Oh.
and I really see people accepting all sorts of people.
Mhm.
I'm not a fanatic, because a fanatic is different from men.
Yeah,
Religious or fanatic.
yeah.
I believe in God and I love everybody. But I'm not going to be criticizing no one, because it's not my place. I'm nobody to criticize. I'm here to help somebody who needs help. And I'm in this business because I want to be a blessing to other people.
Mhm. I'm
Whether
all
it's
about-
with my movies,
Yeah.
with my radio show, whatever is what I'm doing, dancing, whatever I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm all about positive energy. The movie Avatar, I think, had it right. When somebody is ill, they all get together, and I know a lot of tribes still do this, where they hold hands and they do chants, and in the movie, the tree's connected to the ground's connected to the people, the little flying things that they use to get around, those are connected to them, and they have a certain connection that they do. I truly believe that. You and I are connected to the other people here in the room. We're connected to this computer. We're connected to these kids out here, because their happiness out there makes us feel good in here. They feel safe because there's other people in this room and there's other people in that. We're all connected. And as long as we surround ourselves. Oh, a friend of mine told me this really great thing. He said, your mind, you should feed your mind like you feed your body.
Yes.
And so when you're reading negative things online, or you're reading horrible, terrible YouTube comments, you can spend your entire day dealing with all of that, or you can just move it and say, no, I want to watch a nice video.
Yes.
I want to watch these people experiencing something for the first time and seeing happy things happening. That doesn't mean that we don't know bad things exist in the world. Of course we do. We live in this world. But I like to feed myself positive things. And for me, unfortunately, religion has, in my experiences, has been mostly negative. So doesn't mean I'm not spiritual, but organized religion is just not my thing.
No, I understand, but you come from a different background, because I come from a Christian background.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. I mean, like I said, I was raised Catholic.
Yes.
But at 11 years old, I was like, no more.
No, I understand, but I'm Protestant, and a lot of times people ask me, how come that you're Protestant and you're from Mexico? I said, well, there is a lot of Protestants in Mexico. There are a lot of Baptists.
I thought you almost said prostitutes in Mexico.
You're
There really
so-
are a lot of
No,
prostitutes
that's what
in
he
Mexico.
said. That's what he said. No, I'm just kidding.
So
What?
you're
You were
wrong.
raised with prostitutes in Mexico? What?
You're so bad. We have to laugh a little bit here today. But one time I met somebody, a producer,
Uh-huh.
and I say, I'm Protestant. Wow, you're Protestant, you're not Catholic, you're supposed to be from Mexico. And I said, no, I'm Protestant. And I was like in shock. Why was he so in shock that I was Protestant? Could not understand it. You tell me that, audience, what is so shocking about being Protestant coming from a Latin American country?
Well, see, I don't even know what Protestant means. I don't know what, being Jewish means. To me, it's like,
Well,
we're just people. Are these belief systems or?
No. Let me tell you the
don't
difference.
know.
Christianity, you're Catholic because you believe in Jesus Christ. I'm Christian or Protestant because I believe in Jesus Christ. So we believe in the same Jesus Christ. So we are Christians. But it's a little bit different how Catholics take it and how Protestants.
Yeah, see, all of
A
that
little
already
bit.
gives me a headache. I'm like,
And
man,
Judaism.
why worry about all that? I'd rather go and have some ice cream and talk to people.
Yes.
That's my religion right there.
Well, anyways, but it's very interesting that you're making these kind of movies and you're sending a message about these people. You know, that are a little bit different.
Yeah. And
In a way, they are different, but not really because we are human. They are human beings just like everybody else.
But if you look at all my films, they all have a storyline or some basis of religion in them.
Yeah.
If you watch like my movie The Deadbeat Club, if you watch Ouija Experiment, that has to do with, the supernatural stuff, all of that is based on, in a way, religion. And, my next film that's coming out, it's a zombie film called Kicking Zombie Ass for Jesus. So,
When is this gonna be released?
This summer.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, it's, can I tell them what it's about?
Go ahead, yeah.
It's about a zombie apocalypse that happens in a small Texas town, and the survivors barricade themselves in a building, and half of them are made up of gay people, and the other half are made up of Bible thumpers.
Well, what a
Wow.
So now
combination.
what happens?
Oh
Yeah.
my God. What a combination. So,
Yeah, it's gonna be fun,
yes.
and it's a zombie film,
Oh, wow. So how do you see yourself from 10 years from now?
I hope to have more films under my belt. I hope to bring the Dallas film community even closer. Because right now, we have the film competition, and I feel that that's done really amazing things with the film community. Because there are just like oh my God, I just experienced deja vu, by the way. With you there, with the color of your shirt, and you nodding, and me being on this show, and Chaz over there.
What you're saying is you daydream about me.
I do, Chaz. I do, but you already knew that. You already knew that.
I know that.
But yeah, I hope to continue to do that because what's happened is now we're meeting all of the people in film in Dallas, and I hope to make that even bigger. And then on top of that, I'm working on getting a studio to now hopefully house a lot of these people and have office spaces as well as the fun little party room, the game room, and the white psych rooms and everything. And of course, still working with Chaz forever. And
That's great.
that's where I am. I got to say, I've reached a lot of my goals already, and it's just enjoying the ride and just adding to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have really come a long way. How did you start? Did you start as an actor or you start making little movies? Tell me a little bit.
I've never wanted to be an actor. Never wanted to be in front of the camera and act in a film or anything. I know. And Chaz, I apologize. At one point, Chaz had asked me, I think it was for Cancer Dancers or something. I can't remember, but you had asked me to be like you said it's a cool role. And
Yeah, I had this idea where I was going to have Israel get eaten by this pack of zombies after he did some stuff. I said, well, why don't you just do it? He's like, no. I'm a big baby and I can't do that.
At first he said, I was gonna have a group of people eating you, and I was like, okay, that sounds good. And he's like, but they're zombies. Oh, okay, never mind.
It would have been hot. It would have been hot.
But and I would have done it, but I just even if I have to act a little bit, I don't want to act. And so I thought, if I don't really want to do it, and there's a role available, I would rather have somebody who really wants to act to do that. So yeah, I've never really wanted to act.
So what is that you like about directing in films? What is that get your adrenaline going?
Because it's also stressful as well, but you're in charge of making it happen. You're in charge of what it's going to look like, what it's going to sound like, what the characters are going to look like, and I just have a story to tell, and so just making that story come to life just thrills me to death. Yeah.
That's a very interesting way of communicating with people through filmmaking.
Yeah.
Because you play with emotions, you play with their minds,
Yeah.
with their spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Because you make them laugh, you make them cry, you make them feel afraid, terrorized. What is that you like about to producing people with your films? Horror?
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, I think like with the actors specifically, I know that actors just want a juicy role. They want something that they can sink their teeth into. So sometimes when I'm writing a role and I know the person I want to cast, I think I want them to go a little crazy. I want them to have to rehearse and to have to get it right. I'm going to give them great monologues. I'm going to give them emotions where they have to be up high and then down low and go a little crazy.
Yeah.
I want to do that for them to say, whoo, that movie wore me out. And that's kind of how I write them. Because I think that's what the actor wants. And they want somebody, they don't want to just be on the set and they just give their lines. They want somebody to say, okay, now take this line. I want you to say it like this. And then when you go to this part and you walk over here, I want you to say this way. Yeah. And this is what the person's feeling, and make them work for it.
Yes.
I think that's what actors want. And so I love to do that for them.
How did you pick the actors, the right actors for the movies? Of course you do castings, but how you know this person is right for these?
You know, that's a good question. You just have to feel it, I think. When you watch them doing it, you can see how hungry they are for the role. You can see how much they've spent on the lines and thinking, yeah, you know, this person really thought it through. And then they just add their own thing on top of that you just feel it.
Yes.
You do. And it's really tough because sometimes you see so much good talent and you have one role and you have 20 people that are good for that role, and you're like, So what you have to do at that point, and this is very important for the actors to know too, is when it comes to that point, you have to look at the other people that you've already cast and make sure that they look physically different than everybody else, because you can't have 3 lead actresses that all have dark hair and are all about the same size.
Yes.
You have to have a blonde. You have to have a brunette. You have to have one that's heavier set. You have to have one, you have to have a mix of stuff. So sometimes to the actors, when you're auditioning for a role and you don't get it, it's not necessarily because you weren't good. It may have just come down to they had to choose someone with a certain look because of the other people that were cast. So
I always observe that you always have diversity. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, for physically, for the audience member to watch your film, they have to know who's whom, and have different personalities. Instead of having to pause the movie, going, okay, now which character is this? Is she the same girl that did this? Well, no, they just know.
How do you feel about Latin American actors that come from Colombia or Mexico to the USA, let's say like Salma Hayek?
Salma Hayek's beautiful. She's so talented.
How do you feel about these people coming and make an impact in people's lives?
Oh my God, I'm so glad that they're doing it, because now they're inspiring a new generation of Latinos that think, oh, I can do it too, because now, they're recognized. They're on TV. They're on ABC. They're on, all of these shows. So it makes them okay. When I was growing up, the only influences I had were Cheech and Chong.
Yes.
Really?
I'm
Dead
laughing
serious.
because those films were in Mexico. I saw their films.
Yeah. And Speedy Gonzalez.
Yes.
Because Speedy Gonzalez was a cool character. All the kids wanted to be Speedy Gonzalez, and that made me feel so good because he was Mexican, and he's fast and quick, and everyone on the playground wanted to be Speedy Gonzalez. Who else? Who else in the early '80s did I have to look up to? Up until then, I remember being sort of ashamed and embarrassed that our hair was different, because all we saw was beautiful blonde hair, and those were the leads of characters, and that's what the lead men looked like. That's all we had. And so I'm glad that these people now are coming out, and we have Jennifer Lopez, and we have
You
Edward
had
James
Ricky
Olmos.
Ricardo though back with I Love Lucy.
He was so white though.
No, man, that guy's a straight baller, man.
Well, he was, but the way he looked, they wanted him in the suits, and they wanted him in, just the look of him. Now, I'm glad that he had his heavy accent, but that was before my time. I grew up in the late 70s and early 80s was my childhood, and that had already passed. I think if Richie Valens had survived, if Selena had survived, things would have been different, and the Latinos wouldn't have taken so long to become mainstream America.
But yeah, I mean, but you're right, Chaz. I mean, and he was a rarity, but I didn't have him to look up to because I didn't really know.
You had Freddie Prinze Sr. too.
Yes.
Freddie Prinze
What was-
Jr.
Yeah, but what was he in?
He just was in a bunch of movies back in the day. He was just kind of like Elvis being in all those movies and all those.
Yeah,
other
but he
movies.
wasn't an icon, or he wasn't like hugely popular in my era.
Okay, fair enough.
You know, I mean, I didn't know anybody else. You know, I mean, I know there was a Chico and the Man. There was a TV show like that, but I really didn't know about it. There were people. Charo was fun. You know, she was somebody.
From Spain, yes.
But yeah, but I'm just.
Show that had the guy on the motorcycle.
Oh,
Eric
Chips.
Estrada.
Yeah.
Chips.
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada. Yeah,
Puerto
yeah, yeah.
Rico.
There you go.
But see, even he, if I had seen him doing more Latino or Mexican stuff on TV, then I'd be like, oh, okay, he's one of my people. But they just, his name was Eric Estrada and he had slightly darker skin, but he was very just mainstreamed, very.
Did you
Just-
watch
I don't know.
Hispanic movies, Latin American movies, like from Argentina, Spain, Mexico?
I watch some Pedro Almodovar.
Pedro Almodovar.
Yeah, I like his films.
What do you like about his films?
Oh my gosh, because they're so diverse. The characters. He has crazy female characters going nuts, and I love that. I love that. He has transgender women in them. He has, drag queens in them. He introduced the world to Antonio Banderas.
Sí, Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, you gotta
That's how
love a
he
filmmaker
started.
that does all that.
How do you feel with Diego Luna? You know Diego Luna, right?
Hmm.
How do you feel about him?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's good.
So you like him?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, which director do you admire?
Él dice que ya mero se acaba el tiempo.
Oh.
Por eso te está haciendo así.
Oh, okay.
How much time do we have, Chaz?
How much time?
A minute ago, but it will go as long as y'all want to go.
Okay,
Oh,
well.
ya los pasamos por un minuto.
Okay. What? How do you see yourself from 10 years from now?
Still making movies.
Okay.
Still making movies. Yeah.
Well, I wanna congratulate you for
Thank you.
all your success with your film festival, your movies, and I wish you the best.
Thank
and
you very
all
much.
the blessings. Like God bless you enormously with everything that you put your hands on.
Thank you.
Because I know you are very successful. What would you like to tell him, Billy?
Yeah, I wish you much success and wish you success in especially in your film festival, because that's so much help for the filmmakers here.
Yeah.
It gives them an opportunity, first time people to do that. And
Thank you very much.
Success in your movies. You make a lot more of those crazy movies you're making.
Thank you. Y'all need to do one for round 4.
We will do one, but right now we're like
probably gonna
busy
do
with
one
the
sooner or
radio and trying to do some other stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's like I will let you know soon.
Okay.
But do you have a place where they can visit your work, like YouTube channel,
Mhm.
website, where your fans can get in touch with you?
Yeah, for Rack Focus, you can go to rackfocusdallas.com. And if you want to know more about me and my projects, you can go to lalunaentertainment.com, LALUNA entertainment.com. And we also have a Facebook page too, La Luna Entertainment and Rack Focus Dallas.
When is your next Rap Focus? Can you tell?
We don't have a date yet.
Oh, you don't know
I'm going to
yet.
take a little break
Okay.
because that was a huge, amazing event. I'm going to take a break for a couple of weeks. But I will be putting it on Facebook and everything. But yeah, we don't have a date yet.
Well, thank you, Israel. It was a pleasure interviewing you. You know, it's always a pleasure seeing you and
Thank
talk
you. You
about
as
your
well.
new plans. And
Yeah, thanks for asking me to come on the show.
You're welcome. And what would you like to tell him, Billy?
I just thank you for coming on the show, Israel.
Thank you very much.
And
It was
I
fun.
thank,
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
and I want to thank all my audience for tuning in. The radio show, you're live with Joaquin and Billy. See you next time. God bless. I love you a lot. Bye-bye. Have a nice
Bye.
weekend.